Community-minded, locally focused. We're localwebradio.fm.
Are you a hardworking business owner striving for success online? There is help. Welcome to the School of Internet Marketing podcast, featuring candid conversations and inspiring stories of online success. Now here's your host.
I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day. I am your host, Nick Jaworski, and today, of course, I'm continuing my conversation with James Martell, founder of the School of Internet Marketing and VP of Product Development for Jam Media. Today's topic is an introduction to WordPress, why 80 million website owners can't be wrong. Now, before James joins us, just a reminder that if you have questions or require any sort of assistance, you can always reach James's team at Jam Media and the School of Internet Marketing at 604-542-0747 and on Facebook at facebook.com/GoGreatMinds. James Martell has taught tens of thousands of business owners how to effectively market their businesses online through his ebooks, courses, live trainings and webinars, podcast, and speaking engagements. That's a lot of things. James, welcome back.
Great, Nick. Always look forward to talking about WordPress.
Yeah, it's a great management system. And in the last episode, you mentioned it as we talked about the website as your hub, as the central component of the things you do online, including social media. And you brought up WordPress. And for those who don't know, what is WordPress?
I actually credit WordPress as one of the reasons that the internet has grown so quickly in the way that it has. I mean, there's a few services and tools that have come along over the years. PayPal would be another one that made it real easy for anybody to set up a PayPal account to start to collect payments for products and services. Mm-hmm. They made that real easy, and that really helped build this thing we call the internet. WordPress is another one that came along around 2005 and provided website owners with a simple method to publish, back in those days, their blog. And WordPress is a free open source content management system, so it doesn't cost anything, which is
That's great.
A wonderful thing. It started out early on, as I said, as a blogging platform, but over the years it's grown into a full-blown content management system that website owners absolutely love, with now over 80 million website owners using the platform to build their sites. Mm-hmm. And not just little guys. I mean, you take a look at who's who in the zoo, and you'll find that companies even as large as eBay and Sony and CNN and Forbes, they all use WordPress for various things within their business. Of course, the mom and pop sites, all the brick and mortars, affiliate marketers, you name it. It's by far the most popular content management system in the world. And according to the stats, it powers 22% of all websites online. So it's a powerhouse.
Wow, that's incredible. And we've heard about the big sites that are using it, but what's your experience with WordPress?
Yeah, my experience has been an interesting one, because when I got started back in 99, we used a tool or a software program from Microsoft called FrontPage, and I still have it today, and I still use it for various things, mostly when I need some HTML or something that you don't need to know when you're using WordPress. But I was using FrontPage for many of those first few years, and then in and around 2001, 2002, I started to build my own little content management system, which we called the Easysite Builder. And it was a great platform, and it did us very, very well. But it was expensive. I had a full-time tech on it, paid him $5,000 a month for 4 years.
Wow.
So do the math on that. It adds up. And then what happened was I wanted some additional functionality in my content management system to do some things. And I don't even remember what they were, but it was going to be another 2 or 3 months of development to be able to integrate and have programmed what I wanted to be able to do on my sites. And then I stumbled across WordPress. So by this point, I'm into our own content management system for about 220 $20,000 or something. It was painful. I didn't mind spending the money because it was worth it. But then all of a sudden, I found WordPress. And this was even in its infant days. And lo and behold, it's free. And it's got all the functionality that I had existing. It had all the functionality that I wanted. And it was free. And
there you go.
Okay, here we go. I can see where this is going. So I just had to make the decision, you know what? I love my little content management system, but I'd be a fool to continue down this path because a couple reasons. One, my programmer that I was spending $5,000 a month on was great and all, but it was still $5,000 a month.
Right.
And secondly, WordPress had an army of developers in the background, literally thousands of people building all of this additional functionality that we could have access to for free. So when that came along, it was like, okay, I am done with the Easysite Builder, and welcome to my new friend WordPress.
And you've been with WordPress ever since.
We've built literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of websites, quite a number for ourselves, but mostly for clients. And they love it because it gives, beautiful thing about WordPress, it gives you, we talked about control, it gives you control of your site.
Now, I have a little bit of experience with WordPress, and I think that one of the most important steps for designing your site and making it look the way you'd like to look and have the functionality that you need is you need to choose a theme. And how would you describe a theme to somebody who's new to the WordPress game?
If you can imagine, let me take you back to the front page days. So when we built a website in the early days in front page, we didn't really have to know HTML because you could build it in a WYSIWYG editor, as they would call it. What you see is what you get. But you could also dig into the coding a little bit if you wanted to. Once you built out your site, though, all of the content and all of the look and feel, the graphical design of the site was basically all one. So if you ever wanted to change the look and feel of your site, you'd literally have to pull all the content off of it, drop it into a notepad, and then totally start from scratch.
Right.
Where with WordPress, what they've done is they separated the content from the look and feel of the site. So the content sits in the back end of the site. Then we have what's called, as you mentioned, a theme. And a theme is basically the template or the look and feel of the site. It's where the columns reside. It's the header graphic. It's the footer. It's the menuing. It's all of this stuff that's built into the look and feel of the site. So when you build out your site, you add your content into the dashboard area of WordPress. You select the theme you want to use, and it merges the two together. And that's great, and it builds a site for you in that sort of way automatically once the content and the theme is in there. But the really good part about it is if you get tired of the look and feel of your theme, maybe you've had it for a couple of years, you want to do a refresh, you simply deactivate that theme, purchase a new theme, install it, and there's usually some setup, but it's usually very minor because all the content's already there, and you push a button and now it merges the content with your new look and feel. So themes are awesome because that's really what they are. If you head over to a website like themeforest.net, you'd literally find thousands and thousands of WordPress themes that you can purchase. These are premium themes, and they typically range between $37 and $97 each, which is a steal compared to heading over to your local graphic designer to have create a theme for you for $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Right.
And these are really high-end, beautiful-looking themes. Most of them are completely mobile responsive. They're gorgeous, and these are just another area where we now have control of the look and feel of our site.
Well, it's great to know. We're getting control back. I can't code, I can't do graphic design, but I do have a lot of flexibility in terms of how my site actually looks and functions through WordPress, and that's fantastic. So we have to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with James Martell, and we're going to talk more about WordPress and just a few more of the reasons why 80 million website owners can't all be wrong. So we'll be right back.
Hillcrest Bakery and Deli presents Old Time Radio on the Specialty Channel on localwebradio.fm.
Would you like to get more from the devices you own? Not quite sure where to start? There is help. Catch Powering Up for Non-Techies with Justin Martell, Computer Department Manager at London Drugs, on the specialty channel on localwebradio.fm.
If soccer is a part of your life on the Semiahmoo Peninsula, be sure to tune in to This is Soccer with Chris Murphy, Executive Director for Coastal FC, on the community channel on localwebradio.fm.
All right, we are back here with James Martell, and we're talking about the 80 million website owners and WordPress and why they can't all be wrong. And James, we talked about themes in the first half. We talked about your experience in designing your own content management system, and ultimately your decision that WordPress is awesome. And so now we got to understand a little bit more. Let's talk about plugins. What are they?
Plugins are essentially a little piece of software similar to an app. And people have, if they have a mobile phone and you download an app, that would be similar, a similar analogy for a website. So a plugin is a little piece of software that you can download into the back end of your website. And what it does, or what a plugin does, is it extends the functionality of your site. So there's literally, I'm just heading over to the WordPress.org site here now, and currently there's 31,774 plugins that have been downloaded 680 million times. And a plugin, as an example, would be, I'm looking in the back end of one of the WordPress websites here. It could be something as simple as a little plugin called Akismet. And it's used by millions and millions of websites. And all it does is it stems the tide of spam into your comments in your blog. So if you're getting spammed in your blog, then you can just download this little free plugin, activate it, and now it will take care of your spam problem masterfully. Another plugin might be WordPress to Dropbox, which I absolutely love, because WordPress to Dropbox, what you do is you connect. Dropbox is a free online storage area for your files, your important files. And with WordPress, if you download the free WordPress backup to Dropbox, you can set up your site in a couple of clicks that every day or every week, whatever you'd like, your entire WordPress website will be automatically, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever time you set as well, uploaded to WordPress, so that if you ever had a problem with your site, you've always got a current backup and it's automatic.
Wow.
Another one might be a plugin called PowerPress, one of my favorites. It's a podcasting plugin that gives you all the functionality to be able to really easily add a podcast to your website. But it also, within the functionality of this plugin that you download for free, what it also does, in addition to making it easy for you to add a podcast to your site, it also interfaces with iTunes, so that when you update your podcast on your site, it also updates on iTunes and a variety of other places if you would like. So all of these little bits and pieces, all of the stuff that I wanted my content management system to be able to do that couldn't do, I can go now through the WordPress system and look for a plugin. And when they say there's 31,000 of them, you can find plugins to, I'm not even joking, if you have a small airline and you want a reservation system to book your flyers, you'll find one. If you've got a bed and breakfast and you want to add the functionality to your website so you can handle bookings online, you'll find a plugin for that. Wow. Pretty much anything you can imagine, I would challenge you to go to WordPress.org, have a look for it, and I'll bet you'll find not only one plugin, but you'll find a variety to choose from. And the amazing thing about them is they're free. Every time I come to the directory, they're just growing all the time.
You saying that makes me want to start a bed and breakfast just because I know there's a plugin for it.
I love bed and breakfast. We've stayed in a lot of them. I don't know if I'd want to start one, but I sure enjoy staying one. We stayed in one just a few months ago up in the Whistler area, in a beautiful, massive log cabin up in the Rocky Mountains. It was just gorgeous. So yeah, maybe they were using a WordPress plugin to handle the bookings.
Now, a lot of good information today. James, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with us before we close this up?
Well, we're going to be coming up. We're going to be talking about hosting in the next session. And the reason that's important with WordPress, that if you pick the right hosting company, installing WordPress is a 2 button job. So once you purchase your hosting, which usually these days costs around $5 or $6.95 a month, and then that's $5 or $6.95 a month. And if you pick one that has one button WordPress installation, or sometimes two, installing WordPress is literally click, and that'll automatically install it on your site. And then WordPress does come with some stock themes that are free as well, and they add a new one every year. But you can also upload some themes. So we'll dig into a little bit more about how that works when we get into some of the hosting here. But just two big thumbs up to WordPress. And if you're finding yourself in a place that you need a site, and you're ready to, maybe you've got a site that's a little bit old and you don't have control of it, and the webmaster or the graphic designers kind of locked it down on you. Maybe now is the time to take back control, get the hub set up, so you got this broadcasting system, and then figure out what you want the website to be able to do, and then I bet you can find a plugin or a series of plugins for free that'll let you take care of all of that for you.
Well, that is great advice. And if you've been listening to this podcast and thinking that you could do this yourself, this all makes sense. Or if you've got somebody who works for you who could take care of this, with just a little guidance, there's always the School of Internet Marketing. It's only $47 a month. And again, I say this every time, but it's such a small investment considering what you could get back from it in terms of business. But if you would just prefer that someone else take care of it for you, there's always James's team, and you can reach them at 604-542-0747. And if you know someone who could benefit from the information that we have talked about here today, WordPress, plugins, themes, go ahead and share this podcast with them. I know that they'll thank you for it. And James, we're out of time, so thanks so much.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about the School of Internet Marketing and to get access to all exclusive courses and interviews, visit theschoolofinternetmarketing.com. That's www.theschoolofinternetmarketing.com.
You're opted in to localwebradio.fm. Community-minded, locally focused.
This episode is a production of Jam Media. For information on hosting your own web radio show, visit jammedia.com. That's www.jambmedia.com.
The opinions expressed by our guest and host on localwebradio.fm do not necessarily reflect the views of Jam Media or its owners. No expressed or implied opinions of any product or service should be considered an endorsement or recommendation of any kind by Jam Media or its owners.